Forum. Nathan Squire, I'm your chairman. I will take you through the agenda, and I will be helped by my leadership team. Leadership team, please be outstanding.
Good morning all, Paul Kory again, I'm your social secretary.
Good morning, I'm Scott, your meeting secretary.
Good morning guys, Ben, education coordinator.
Yay!
Thank you all. Welcome to Trump's Tariff Thursday. I hope you're all feeling.
Are you telling us that we've now got 10% increase of our
Charge 25% on anything coming in. Right. Let's move on from unpleasant thoughts. So we start, as always, with the performance lead. We've got a treat today. Not only do we have a performance lead, but we also have an education slot that are being fused. And our fusion.
Definitely not.
Go for it.
But yes, performance league is going round. By now, we don't have any guests today, so you all know something at least about this. But I'm going to attempt to explain this and add some more clarity as to why and how it works for my head slots. So first and foremost, why do we do the performance league? What's the point of it? It governs the order, first of all, of members on our webpage. So each month we reset. Those most higher performing members are at the top of the page, and it ranks down like that in performance. So that's important for exposure for you guys and your businesses. About 50% of our members at the top are published and promoted on our social media channels. So we publish Google business posts and we publish Instagram posts. And in order to not have an overflowing calendar of content, we've got room for about 50% of our membership. So those who are in the top half of the league each month, they are the members whose profiles are promoted. So that's why you might be at the top as well. Third reason is obviously at your membership renewal, the board of directors and then the membership committee will look at your overall performance league score and decide on whether to submit or give you a renewal. And sometimes we permit a renewal with conditions. You must improve on this factor or that factor, or can you make sure that you're doing more of this or more of that? So that's the why. I thought I'd go in and, as I say, explain a few other bits. So, first of all, we aim to try and keep it totally fair. So some of us, like me, I've been networking for 27 years in this group. So I've got lots of ex-members that continue to give me regular recurring business. So it's really quite easy when you've got that coming to tick off and score points. You're not doing an awful lot of work. But we balance out things like ex-member business so that you can only score a maximum of 1 point for a piece of ex-member business. You can't score 50 points from someone who may still be giving great value, high value work, but can't beat the system just by doing it. So we keep all of that nice and fair. So, break down the points. How do you score your points? Now obviously I go on about this each week. 88 point is your benchmark score for the month. 15 points scored just by turning up. So 60 to 75 points of your 88 each month just by turning up. So we're gifting almost all of that benchmark to you just by arriving. Each time you comment on our blog, you score 2 points. Plus, there's an upvote and a downvote mechanism on our blog. So if you get in there first and you're one of the first commenters, generally we're all nice. And people will come in and upvote maybe 3 or 4 extra points. You can downvote people if you don't like what they're saying. But generally, I'd say easily, there's 10 points a month that you can earn for commenting on the blog. The biggies, obviously bring a guest along, which will reward you with 50 points. A guest needs to be someone that could actually join, not just your business partner or someone else in the group. But if you convert that guest to a new member, that's 100 points. Mega points for those big activities. Referrals. So if you pass a referral as an intern, so a piece of business between, for example, Toby and Blake, Toby buys a hoodie from Blake, it's an internal piece of business, 15 points are scored for that opportunity. If Toby introduces his next door neighbour to Blake and his next door neighbour bought a hoodie, it's 25 points for the external referral because that's better business, that's an outside person that we're introducing to Blake. So really easy, 15 to 25. The recording of money, so the activity record piece, both parties are awarded points for that. So Paul gives some business to me, I complete that piece of business and I thank Paul very much for £1,000 worth of work. So I would score, it's a scale on the value, but I would score between 1 and 25 points depending on the value for that. But also Paul would receive points too. And it's roughly double what I would receive in terms of points that he's been responsible for bringing to the group. So we score points in that way by recording them on. Win the Oscar, easy 25 points. Give an Ed slot, easy 25 points. Sadly, Ben doesn't get 25 points. Every time Ben does. But I did give him from time to time just to keep it in balance and to keep it fair. Ben gets points. Ben gets points as well. It's good. Yeah. There are negative points, so that's it's very obvious. But if you can't make it to a meeting for a genuine medical reason, or if you're on holiday and you remember to tell me either of those things and I write it down, then you don't score negative points. You just don't score your 15 points for turning up. But for a subsequent absence, so if you're not here and then you don't come the following week, that's a -10. And it's aimed to reflect that negative impact or damage you're doing to the network effect of how the group works. And then each subsequent absence, it will be -20, -30, -40 points, and it will grow for the bigger gap that you leave in your attendance. It's very rare that we let that grow very large anyway, but it's just as a reflection. But that's the only way that we do negative points. Other than the special column I've got that just says extras, which from time to time I might fill in a positive or a negative way. Just on whatever, see how I feel. But that's essentially it. So in summary, it's not difficult, shouldn't be difficult for you to easily ace 88 points. I would say, I'd go as far as to say, really, you should be looking to score a 3-digit value in a month, given 75 points are yours just for turning up. Today we've got a synergy team following the meeting, 10 minutes, 10 points scored just for turning up to that. Grab yourself another one-to-one, write some comments on the blog. It really shouldn't be hard to score your points and perform in the league. And just pay attention as you go around and look at the league. How comfortable do you feel with where your average position is? Could you be more than just a Thursday morning member and think about EBF every day? How can you tune in and look for more opportunities and do more and elevate yourself in that league? Because when we're looking for members who we think are the best in the group that we want to have our one-to-ones with and do more business with, we should be looking at those people who are towards the top. That's enough of my nature. Finished on that now. But hopefully, I've gone some ways of explaining how and why the points are what they are. Thank you very much.
Any points for being on the podcast?
You can have points for being on the podcast as well. Genuinely, Paul is putting in a lot of time and effort without being paid for his service to do that for us, and it's very worthy of points. It's really dedicated to.
I'm having to speak some really cold pictures as well.
Yeah, absolutely. There's value in that.
Do I get as many points for writing the blog?
From time to time, yes.
Yes, see? Anyway, right. Actually, a comment on what Scott has just said, and it's interesting. Basically, you'll get to 75 points just by turning up. You only have to pass one external referral a month in order to get to 100. It shouldn't be difficult. But anyway, thanks Scott, that was very, very helpful and very useful. I won't attempt to summarise that in the blog. Right, moving on. We move on to the 60-second round. Now, who won, in my absence, walking the fellows last week? Somebody won the Oscar, but we had two. We have joint winners. Right.
Also, my apologies. I won it the week before, and I realised I don't actually have the one.
Yeah. Only up to 75.
Your name was mud last week. Can you imagine what it is today? Oh.
Right, do you want to do an arm wrestle for who is going to be judging?
I thought that might be the case.
You don't want to do an arm wrestle. Okay. Right, in that case, we will assume the overall winner. You will make the judgment this week. You will go first with the 60 seconds. We don't have we do have a bellman. We don't have our usual bellman because he's out of Africa at the moment. Paul has taken over. So get on with it. You start. James, go for it.
Morning, all. James from Brown & Brown General Insurance Brokers. I'm assuming I'm getting more points for this as I'm taking the next responsibility.
One.
I'll take one now. So we'll have a look at most things. At the moment, because I'm not the one who's got this week anyway, medical insurance, life insurance, critical illness insurance. I don't do that, but I know a man that does in the office. And there's a guy called Edward Richards, or Richard Edwards, and I can't remember. I've spoken to him a dozen times. Just spoken to him. Lovely guy. Just it won't stick. There's a new guy called Lewis Gibson. I can't get it wrong, so it's definitely Lewis. So it's easier to refer to Lewis than it is Richard or Edward, because I think that's fine. So we can do personal stuff. We can do the company stuff as well. He's got some massive schemes, really big companies for all the employees. But we also do the individual stuff as well. So anything like that, give me a shout, and I'll put you through to Lewis. Because his name is definitely his.
Thank you very much, James. What I didn't say, of course, was the blue box is going round. Put your piece of paper in that. Business card box is going round. Take your card and check that yours are there. And we'll move on. Matt is next, followed by Melissa.
Good morning, everyone. Barry Matt from Sarah Blue. We are we're a branding and creative marketing agency. We help support brands at whatever stage they're in their journey. So just a very, very quick reminder of the stuff that we do. Not only obviously branding, creating brands and rebranding organisations, but we work with partners such as Griffith Scott and Delu Paul on helping refine your digital presence. We also work with Skin and Mike on that as well. And we also do a lot of social media. It's an area that we've been building up recently, and actually we've been doing some reports for some of our clients. And some of the clients, over 1,000% increase in their engagement on their social media over 4 years. So if you're looking to try and improve your social media presence, please do get in touch with Barry Matt. Thanks very much.
Right. I hope you didn't see that backward step, but Matt is followed by Melissa, who is followed by Toby.
Good morning, everyone. Jackson Melissa from Francis Kenways, Parsons Consultants Practitioner. This morning I just want to talk to you a bit about HMRC. HMRC is cracking down on unpaid taxes. Over the past year, they've ramped up the use of winding up petitions, legal actions to shut down companies that owe tax. In July 23 alone, they secured over 348 orders, the highest since pre-pandemic times. And in 2024, they're following the same trend, and the numbers are increasing for 25. So what can businesses do? The courts may allow delays if a company is raising funds to pay the debt, proposing a repayment under a CPA, or seeking administration construction, or disputing the validity of a debt. But don't ignore HMRC. They are serious about collecting debts, and so directors need to act fast and get professional advice. So that's Melissa Jackson, Kenway Francis, assisting companies and individuals in financial distress.
Thank you very much, Melissa. As my the application process on my computer would say, to be active is next.
Morning, everybody. Sorry if I'm a bit blurry-eyed, I didn't get until 1 o'clock because last night I went stargazing in Buckinghamshire. Proper, out in the dark on the top of a hill. It was actually quite cold up there. It was amazing. We had a guy with a telescope that looked like it belonged to NASA and laser pointers pointing. It was a really good evening. But we weren't just looking at stars, we were looking at planets and their moons. It was fascinating. But geek like me, absolutely loved it. So a nebula. Hydrogen cloud where stars were going to be formed, all those sorts of things. But the key was we had somebody there to point it all out to guide us, and it hit me. Lady would love a metaphor. So, so that's exactly what I do with mentoring and motivation maps. People come to me with a sky full of bright, shiny distractions, full of decisions, all a bit overwhelming, not sure what it's all about. Then we zoom in with the right tools, someone to interpret it for you. And so you understand exactly what you're seeing. That's exactly what I do with my clients. I help them find their North Star, what really guides them, what's really going to push them forward in their business. So if you want a bit of clarity about your night sky, then please do have a chat with them.
Thanks. You were plowing your own furrow there.
There you go.
This was in a dark car park in Colchester.
Yeah.
Stargazing.
Right. Move away from Ben.
Oh,
You are after Paul.
Morning all, Paul Kory from Solitaire Plumbing and Heating. I've been asked a couple of weeks ago to sponsor the Malden Mud Race, and the Malden Car Show and the Malden Fireworks display. with Bill Soapy. We're quite reluctant to do so because the cost is absolutely fortunate. But they've asked us to do it in a different way. They've asked us to design a pre-shower shower. Just design and install one. And it's basically going to live on the mud on the other side of the seawall. We've done the design for them. It's basically going to have 15, at least hopefully 15 shower heads. It's going to be a frame inch steel. We're going to design and supply it, install it, everything. And it looks like they've accepted, which will be fun. So hopefully that's the next 2 years worth of sponsoring sorted. So anything from a dripping tap to a pre-shower shower, we do it all. Thank you.
Paul, Ben, or Mike?
Good morning, guys. Ben Golding from Utility Warehouse. So we are into awful April. But I'm going to change it to awesome April because we are keeping our fixed price of energy, saying that we are £250 below the cap. Plus, till the end of the month, we still have an extended £100 bill busting boost. So there's never been a better time to save money. A bit like I did on Wednesday when I helped a lovely young family switch their energy, broadband and mobile over to UW and saving over £60 a month. That's over £700 a year, which is going to make a massive difference. Now, it's not just me piping on about how good we are. Last month, we got 3 new awards. We got the Which Award for Best Broadband Provider, the Which Award for Best Energy Provider, and the Citizens Advice Bureau Award for Best for Customer Service. So, there's never been a better time to recommend me to your friends and family so I can help them to save money with the UK's cheapest, most trusted, and most awarded utility company. That's Ben Golding Utility Warehouse.
Mike, you're next, followed by Clark.
I normally go before Ben rather than after. It's very inspiring, so we'll go for a bit of Ben's stuff. Good morning, everyone!
You've been verified.
Mike from Blackwater Media. Calm down a bit. But when I'm looking for new clients, one of the things that I sort of keep an eye out for is, I wonder how they do that, or I wonder how that works about their business. Because if I'm thinking that when I'm looking at a business, it means it make really good content for their website, because chances are other people are thinking it as well. And it's going to be interesting, it's going to bring traffic to their website, and then their products into more people's homes. And it applies to loads of different businesses, whether you're looking at a florist and thinking, where they source all their flowers from, or a fashion store. It's like, how do they come up with what this season's products are going to be? So if you're interested in something like business, chances are it'd be really good for them to promote and make a thing about. And likewise, if people are always asking you the same questions about your business, make a video about it, put it on your website. You've got good content there that people are going to want to watch. So if you can, I'd like you to think about some questions about businesses that you use yourselves. Suggest to them that maybe they're worth answering with a video on their website. That's Mike at Blackham's Media. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mike. Clara, you're followed by Blake.
Hi, Clara Gayton, Bank Mortgage and Financial Services. Well, we also do critical illness and life cover and things like that. It is an important part to consider, and I know Howard does it as well, and we all kind of work amongst ourselves where potentially somebody is a better fit for it. My message on that side is you should think about it regardless of who you use for it. It is an important part because where you have a debt like a mortgage, you actually need to really be thinking as to what you would do if the worst happens, kind of thing. So it sort of made me think of it as a good point to make. And having a review of what you've got and what you might need is always an important thing. And yourself or myself or Howard, all of us can help with that. So the most important thing is just do something rather than nothing. So I think that's my message for this morning. If you need help with any of those kind of things, then reach out and look for help, because like reviewing your mortgage, it's also very important to review what cover you've got in place as well. So that's Clara Downton Mortgages and Financial Services.
Clara, Blake, you're next and you're followed by Kat.
I'm getting old.
That's like the youngest one here.
Morning, everyone. Blake around with your go-to outdoor and airsoft supplier. Something a bit different today. We have now got in store our own printer to make custom stuff for the shop, and which means we can also do it for other people. One of the things we made this week, custom coasters.
Nice.
So if anyone is interested in a coaster, let me know. It also means we can now do custom hoodies and t-shirts. We also have a laser engraver on the way, which means we can do laser engraving and laser cutting. So if anyone wants anything made, let me know. Thank you.
Thank you, Blake. Catherine, you're next. You're followed by Paul.
I felt quite sprightly now because I stood up and I didn't creak. You made me feel much better. Catherine Foley, English Students Plus. This Saturday I went out for a lovely lunch with some ex-teacher friends who've all made their escape from the hellhole of the school we were in last year. And we were having a conversation about AI. And as you know, I've been quite reluctant about AI, but my friend who's still working in another school was telling me how much time it's saving her with her planning and reporting. And I thought, well, maybe I ought to just at least try it before I knock it too much. So I did actually have a go this week and used it to help me come up. I was doing a little table of definitions and examples and things for a student, and it made the job very, very quick. So begrudging, accepting that there might be benefits to it, and I was almost converted until the same friend, to prove to us that it was working, made a story about the group that had gone out for lunch, and she put in a few details. For me, all she said was, wanted out of school, now private tutor. And from that, AI made me the most boring, negative, horrible person. So I'm not so sure after all. So if you want to hire a tutor or proofreader who's willing to embrace change, but is hopefully not as boring as AI thinks I am, do it.
Catherine, Paul, you're followed by Josh.
Good morning, everyone. Paul DeLue, Essex Elements. We help create craft, personalised ceremony announcement. I want to say thank you to you all, because the feedback I got following my 10 minutes last week was outstanding. Hopefully it came across that what I'm doing is about passion, it's about love. So thank you. I'd like to give you one of these very, very exclusive business cards. It's not quite the final thing because they've got to have the corners nibbled off. I'll speed this up a little bit. But also a big thank you also to Matt Barry and his team, who on a written brief, we didn't even talk because everything was so busy, created this branding of mine, which I absolutely love, and I think really sort of reflects, thank you so much, it really reflects everything we're about. The little changes coming is the corners are going to be curved off, so there's no sharp edges. So thank you all for your feedback, it's really involving me, and Thank you, Matt and the team, for all your hard work. It's massively appreciated. And, yeah, it's great to be up and running.
Great
Thanks, Paul. Joshua, you're followed by Leanne.
Hi, good morning all. Joshua from JDC Studio, and I just want to share just some different items that have happened. So I've recently moved into a studio with another architect, and the great thing about that is now, as well as providing my experience that is quite depth for my customers, I've also got access to another experienced architect. It just helps to expand on the services that I can offer. It just reminds me of some of the things that I can do, because it's not always obvious. Firstly, any form of drawing for a building, a lot of people don't realise that any material change for a property generally needs planning permission. That does include when you might change a boiler, having a boiler please protecting the property requires planning permission. Also help with loft conversion, extensions to the building, and change of use. So that's Joshua from JDC Studio. Thank you.
Thanks, Joshua. Leanne, followed by Stuart.
Good morning, everybody. Leanne from Brentwood Interiors. I want to talk to you about colour today. I've had a couple of inquiries this week where they want to inject some colour into their home. They're fed up with the white. So just brought some darker colours with me because there's so many to choose from, but I just brought some colours. So I help you design your room and bring some colour into your life. Not always with paint. You don't have to do it. You can do it with soft furnishings, personals and throws and rugs and everything else. But sometimes these will scare people. So I do have warm neutrals, which is still a very calming light colour, but the tones make it a little bit warmer for your home. Now these are things that I sit down and I talk to people about, and I find out what they're drawn to. But my advice with when choosing a colour, don't paint the walls, please. Use a bit of paper and put a bit of A3 size on every wall and see it for over a few days, so you see the true colour in your room. What it looks like on the screen in a magazine will not look the same in your home. So test it first, but don't paint the walls, because if you're doing that colour and you go for that colour, you're going to have a nightmare covering it. So that's Leanne of Brooklyn Interiors.
Yeah, Stuart, you're followed by Cory.
Well, everybody, Stuart from Networks. Remember we all had servers in our offices, or we have a machine in the corner, and we'd always been told about backing that up and make sure we had a backup to it. It doesn't seem quite relevant now, does it? Everything's backed up to the cloud, where CRM is in the cloud, our Zero Accounts package, we use Apple iCloud. If you look into the T's and C's of all of those providers, they do not offer you any guarantee on the backup, the stuff that you're sending up to their cloud. It is your responsibility to make sure your data, your Xero, your Salesforce, your iCloud is backed up, not theirs. Okay? We provide services via a company called Redstore, who actually back up your cloud data. Okay? They will actually take responsibility, have a service level agreement to actually make sure your data is protected. It is not Google, Xero, Salesforce, iCloud's responsibility to look after your data. It is your responsibility to look after your data. Make sure it's backed up. If you need any help, give me a call. Stuart at LG Networks.
Thanks, Stuart. Kory, you're followed by James.
Good morning, everyone. So today I'm gonna quickly go through a nice lovely job that we did last week. That's why we weren't here. We had two jobs, interestingly. So hence why you see movers and storage. So we've had one client that literally wanted to break the chain. You know, when you're doing like you're buying houses. So what she did was she moved out of, I think it was like a 3-bedroom house, beautiful house in Buckhurst Hill, and she got everything into storage. Now, we found a storage provider and we actually moved all of her items out from her house into storage. That took like 12 hours. And I told my men, listen, you just did really well. Another one on Friday. So you'll also see on the presentation, we moved the client from in London. I was that quick. 5 seconds. Okay, 5 flights of stairs. That's all I've got to say.
Thank you, Kory.
Hey, where's the gin?
James, you're next. You're followed by Dave.
James from Brown Insurance. I'm pretty sure we'll do the Oscar this week.
Yeah. Well spotted. However, in your absence, Dave, you're next, and you're followed by John Hammond.
Morning everybody, Dave from Mercury Electrical. This week, well actually yesterday, we had a call from a client who maybe wants to take up Stuart's offer of the backup. They had a power surge which took out 3 of their computers. So today I'm going to go and see it and see if we can change their fuse boards, because this little orange bit here is a surge protector. So it will hopefully stop any major surges coming down the line, blow their computers. It took them about 3 or 4 hours, I think, to actually sort of get their computers back up running. They unfortunately didn't lose any data. The other advantage of these fuse boards is you can use one of these, which instead of, if you've got a problem with like a pump, kettle, or a shower, if it trips, it can take out the whole fuse board. These particular devices, it'll only take out the circuit that's actually been affected. So again, it's another way of protecting your important data and equipment. And they'll only trip what we've got least to trip. So that's it. Anybody's interested in a new fuse board, please give me a call. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dave. John Hammond, followed by Scott.
Good morning, everybody. This week I'd like to talk about the benefits of CCTV. People have CCTV in their properties and they think you've got to watch the screen. No one ever watches the screen. It's there for your protection if anything happens. Whether it's a theft, whether it's an industrial accident, whatever. But what you've got to make sure that it's recording. And if you have a system from us, it emails us when you've actually got a problem with your cameras or with your digital recording. So you never lose recording. And the same as backups of your computer data, it is important that that system is recorded. Because when something goes wrong, you need to be able to see it. If someone has an industrial accident on site, you want to be able to prove whose fault it is. If something happens on your site, if something's broken, you want to see who did it. So, if you want a good CCTV system, talk to us. John Hammond from JMX Technology, applying technology to security.
John, Scott, you're followed by Paul.
Something really simple today, but something we should perhaps all consider, and that's your domain portfolio. So if you own polepositionbusiness.com, do you also have the .co.uk? Do you have common misspellings of your domain name, just so that if somebody goes to your site and they're not sure whether you're on .com or .co.uk, well, they can type it in and get there regardless, whichever one they use. But choose one as your primary. Have you got stuff covered off? And are you, is it set up, is it working? If I put in that alternate version, does it get to you? But also just really simple ideas. What about if I owned essexinteriordesigners.com, or if I owned graphic designers in Essex.com? And those search queries that people type in, if you own that one-page landing page, it's got your name plastered over the top of it, then someone's typed in graphic designer Essex. Then it's just another opportunity, an easy win to capture that Google search. So if you're interested in that, if you haven't secured a domain name portfolio to really capture all of those business opportunities, it's a shout, it's quick, easy and inexpensive.
Scott, Paul, you're followed by me, who's followed by Jay.
All those from Google Code Chartered Certified Accountant based in Brentwood. Lots of bills have gone up from people, council tax, water rates, TV licence to name but a few. One of the bills that is controllable to some extent is tax, council tax. A wife and client, she earns quite good money, just employment income, benefits in kind. She had a tax demand for £1,500 for 3 years of tax calculations. We looked at it and we managed to turn it into a refund of £1,000. That's been much of work, it's pretty straightforward. So don't just accept that things are correct, just look at the issue by HMRC. We can check these things and hopefully get a reduction. That's good news from Google Code, minimise tax. That's fine.
Thank you very much, Paul. Nice to be back whilst I was out on the field, so I was thinking of you. Pub question of the week. How many lakes are there in the Lake District? And I'll tell you the answer is 1, and that's Bassen's Wake. They're all otherwise called waters. So next time you're in the pub quiz, you probably won't get that question. I felt I was on holiday, and the holiday season had started. And when I got back, my client, Widmouth Bay Holiday Village, they've got 2 transfers of sites from one to another. That's good business for me. I know the holiday season has started when people start taking up and buying these sites. Definition of a good season for my client is a full site. Definition for me is lots of transactions. For both of us, it's getting arrears of service charges back through the courts and getting possession through forfeiture. Both of which we've done. Am I sounding a bit like Terry? Yeah. Next up is Jen.
Hello everybody. So I'm going to up your afternoon tea game. You need a top tip from me. So when you've got your bread, let's pretend that's a slice of bread and you're about to make beautiful afternoon tea sandwiches. Stop. Because to make perfect triangular sandwiches, you have to start with a square. If you've ever done origami, you know that it has to be square to be able to do the points. If you've ever done those paper things where you do that, do you remember? They might have a name, I don't know what it is. So, unfortunately, you're going to have to sacrifice the top bit of your bread. You can still eat it, that's fine. Keep it for a separate nibble. But if you want perfect triangles, start with square bread. Once you've got one, use it as the template for the next sandwich. And when you cut them, they will all match in. Is it what sort of triangle am I talking about? Not isosceles. Yeah, that'll do it. And they'll all be the same. Top tip, don't let me down.
I shop in the Co-op quite often. They do square bread.
Oh.
Shop in the Co-op.
Right,
that's the end of the second round. Thank you all for your contributions. And now I'll hand you over to Soft Boy.
I was going to go to Aidan, but Matt was immediately disqualified for sarcasm, so that's fine. Paul seems in the running as soon as I heard about a bribe, money and alcohol, preferably. So instead of you, it's close second, Blake. It's just nice to hear someone just pushing the boat out more products and get a new story again. So so if you can pass over the truck. No, so no trouble.
Sorry,
well done, Blake.
I will thank you.
Now, Joshua, what do you have to do next week?
Ring in the Oscar.
Right. That's the 62nd round. You've already had one dose of Scott Griffiths this morning. This is the second dose. Meeting secretary's report, please, Scott.
Well, I didn't mention this morning, but all went round and you all saw, as it came past you, the winner for our March Performance League was, of course, Mr. Matt Barry, with a stonking 455 points. So congratulations, Matt.
Our certificate.
Oh, yes.
There you go.
So that's that today. I've recorded 17 new referral opportunities, or at least 17 at least, pass this way. If there are any more, please pass them on.
Thanks, Scott. Right, we move towards the 10-minute presentation. We've kept in the dark as to who it is, but they didn't tell us.
So thank you. Well, before I introduce today's surprise guest speaker, just give you an update of the next few weeks. So, obviously into April now, going into May. So next week on the 10th, Blake will be doing the 10-minute presentation and I'll be doing the education slot. 17th, Toby will be doing the 10 minutes and Paul Boone will be providing the education slot. 24th, Vince will be doing the 10 minutes and Nick education. Then into May, slowly nearly halfway through the year, I'll be doing the 10 minutes and Catherine will be doing her first education slot.
Not sure I know anything about education actually, but I think not the right sort. Yeah.
To do the 10 minutes, please go to the EBF website, download the bio, so you get to me a day or two beforehand. And if you can't do your presentation for whatever reason, or your airdrop, please let me know as soon as possible. We'll do our best to try and swap things round. And finally, allow 8 minutes for a presentation, for 2 minutes for questions, and don't forget to bring a speaker's prize. That said, obviously today we have Kory Martin giving his first 10 minutes.
Forgive me, I forgot. The speaker prize, I'll bring it next week.
That's right, minus points again. No. So business name is Martin & Martin, and connected to business is Courier and Removals and Storage. He's the director of the company, but covers the whole of Essex and London. Now, just a couple of little bits here about Kory. How does Kory relax? Well, playing the PS5. Never played that, so we'll have to have a one-to-one, I think, so you can show me. Type of music. Now, is this soca?
It's soca.
Soca, I didn't know for soccer. Soca.
Yeah.
Never heard of it. With £1 million cash, very sensible, would buy some bonds to receive a monthly income.
Yes.
And a dish he can cook well is boiling water. So, very good. So, put your hands together for Kory's first 10 minutes.
Alright, so usually I would normally stand up and do a presentation, but without like button smash. I gotta sit down for this. That's okay with everyone? Yeah, okay. Alright, so quickly, once again, my name is Kory Martin, and I'm not just the director, but there's a co-director who is my wife, Taffy Martin, but that's the one you see, I'm going to see here today. As you said, we have two businesses. We have Martin & Martin Removals and Storage. As you can see, we do removals, and if you need storage, short-term or long-term, we do that as well. And Courier service is another one that we do have as well, which is same day, next day, same day or next day, whenever you eventually need to get something from A to B. So in this presentation, I'll be going through the who I am as a person, how the journey of being entrepreneurial started. I like to call it the prelude, the present, where we are now, and where we want this business to go as well. Okay, so who I am? I'm a Christian. That's the first thing. Jesus Christ saved my life, and it's the best thing he's ever done. I was born in Leytonstone, London, East London. Funny enough, apparently this is a Cockney area, and I found out my name Kory means nothing nice. Yeah, Kory means morning glory. Yeah. I'm newly married. Newly married. Obviously that means I'm a husband of 1 year and 4 months. Now the next bit, you're gonna laugh. I'm a new dad of a 4-month-old girl. That means didn't take long. Now, myself. Her name is Maria. I love business and I love investments. And something that I don't think everybody, because of how I look right now, I am a 2nd-degree black belt in kickboxing. Yes. My foot used to go like 6 foot high at one point, and I was carrying me into my stomach. That's fine. Alright, so this is how the story starts. So, being raised in Antigua, my mom got me into piano lessons. And one of the stories she tells me, and she tells my wife, is that she normally pays a certain price for like an hour. And this is when I'm 7 years old. And I was only doing like actual piano for like 15 minutes and sitting on the side, feeling like, hold on, this don't make any sense. I told my mom I don't want to do piano anymore. She's like, why? I said, because I'm not getting my money's worth. So at a young age, I kind of knew, hold on, if you're paying this much for it, and I'm gonna get it 15 minutes, I'm not getting my money's worth. So I literally quit. Because of that, I didn't feel like I was getting my money's worth. On top of that, so as you can see, selling Beyblades. Now this is like a toy that was really popular back in the day. Yeah, you know, I don't know if anybody, it must be a generational thing. But my cousin used to send us these Beyblades for Christmas, and I used to play with them and get bored of them. And then what I did was I carried them to school and I sold them. and I used to have like a nice little change box that I'll sell them, and as he sent more down, I sold them. What's not here is all the toys and video games that that my brother got that we don't ever use, and I sold them at school as well. Where all that money went, I don't know. My mom said she invested it. Alright, so a couple of things you must know about. I went to I did my undergrad in accountancy and finance. I wanted to be an accountant, worst mistake, but I didn't love tax. So I do have a bachelor's in finance and accounting and finance. After university, because I was not the way I am now, I was really thin. I was really good at kickboxing, and I joined a franchise. And within that franchise, I opened up 7 kickboxing clubs within 4 years. So I was already an entrepreneur at that time. What that doesn't say is I was also a personal trainer, but I made the deliberate decision to be a personal trainer whilst doing this because it allowed me to be like semi-employed. So I knew how I could be able to funnel money through that to scale my business. Hence, it did really, really well. Because of that, I learned this. Because the business did so well, I had money just sitting there, and I knew I couldn't reinvest into the business because the returns wouldn't actually increase because of the scale of the business at the time. So I decided to go to a bank to find out if I could invest in. When they told me what to invest in, I was like, that makes no sense. So then I was like, well, I need to learn about investments. And I read some books, didn't really understand it. Well, didn't understand the intricacies behind it. So if you read a book and you can understand, okay, this is what it is. Then how it actually works, I was like, I need to understand this. Hence why I went and did my master's in finance and investment. Found out, and I'm gonna say it this way, this is how rich white people make money. And I was like, I want to learn more and do this. So then I literally went to the association and said, well, at the moment, I don't see this being scalable, so I'm gonna change. And I exited for like 10K to my name, about 5 minutes. I'm almost done. So then came back to London and I became an investment consultant at WTW, where I'm on the client team. So I do work in investments. I do have an understanding of how it works, but it's still not being entrepreneurial. I'm sitting down there. I love investments, but I don't love working like a 9 to 5 like that. Hence why my wife and I started Martin and Martin Removals and Martin and Martin Couriers. Now I'm quickly going to play a video of what we did last week. Hopefully it works. Yeah, so that was one of the jobs that we had last week. Now, the reason I'm showing this is because doing removals, you're dealing with people's personal things, and you really want to make sure you take care of it, even if you're going up 5 flights of stairs, not knowing there were 5 flights of stairs before. So what I learned in that moment as a business owner and a team leader is when these things happen, you have to learn how to manage and to use morale. So for the whole thing, all I could tell them is, listen, we're almost there. So even if it's giving them little things like easy wins, keep them going. Having someone there that is dedicated to, like, for example, 2 minutes. Okay. Courier service. Now with this, we have the Brentwood a business called Boxco, who are really big around London and throughout certain parts of the UK. They serve students, and what they do is they bring the work to us, and we basically just A to B, we drop everything that they need to. So at the moment, we're trying to get a service level agreement with them, so it can be consistent, and we can also continue delivering a high standard of work as well. Cool. Okay, so this is where we want to go. So with the removals and storage, one could scale to the point of being getting to the national and international routes as well, from like nowhere to Belgium and those places. And do you consider Scotland international? No?
Yes, but time travel.
Okay, to Scotland as well. And on the courier side, we're looking to scale to get bigger fleets, and we're introducing motor vehicles and HGV vans as well to carry out these deliveries. My wife is from Zimbabwe, so we had a conversation last night about seeing how do we do shipments from UK to Zimbabwe and the other way around as well. And just to let you know, and things to remember about me is entrepreneurship was a calling. And Christ saved me so I can do business his way. And thank you very much. Wow. Yes.
Could we have a kickboxing contest between you and Software, please?
Oh,
I'd pay for that, certainly.
Is it Willie Stone Watson, WTW? Yeah. My daughter just got a job there, so I'm going to have a catch up.
Oh, brilliant.
Starts in September.
All right.
I'm just quite intrigued to know what was your motivation for setting up a removal company, Courier company, just looking at your previous experience. Why that sector of all the sectors you could have done?
So honestly, at the time, I needed that. My wife and I were thinking about starting a business. We didn't know what it was, and I've learned that sometimes you don't need to be an expert. You need to be a facilitator. So my cousin was a courier service. He's always a driver, and I spoke to him about it, and I was like, when we had a conversation, I was like, okay, this is something I can invest in, and I can see how it can be scalable. So then we made a plan together, and then we were like, okay, cool. I bought the vans and everything, and then we made a business plan. Now, as I said, I love business, so then starting these businesses was just a way of, scratching an itch, but also being in it, I can see how we can help people and how it literally can be improved. Because there's so many things that one thing I've learned about working with WTW is systems and efficiencies, and in some of these industries, it's not there. So that's something we can bring to our business. So then we can obviously keep high standards, and obviously if you move it's personal and things like that, give somebody that service the best service possible, and that itself, I'm happy with. And also within my community, I'm also able to give people jobs, and that's one thing I realized that being able to satisfy my soul. So hence why we did the business. So it's all encompassing.
Yes, this is the last question. We've had one intelligent question. We ought to quit while we're ready, but
In terms of the courier business, what's the sort of best sort of work that you're looking out for? Because I'm assuming you don't really want to be taking like a teapot from Colchester to Bedford.
So I guess that's the yes. I'm gonna say yes to that because there are people that we work with that will be able to do that.
Right.
So we have a network of drivers as well as able to do jobs like that. But mostly what we're trying to do right now, is trying to find small SMEs like laundromats, I think I mentioned before, who do service washes, but can't serve their community fully because everybody got to come and go. But then if we have our service, we can collect it, drop it, and then drop it back to them as well, and things like that. But that's the plan, to try and scale out as well.
questions? Second intelligent question. Very unusual.
I had a funny question. Go on then that's it. To improve your branding on the courier business, have you considered adopting a middle name beginning with A? So your name is Kory. Oh, that's cute.
Minus 88.
Sorry.
Wait, north or south? See, you get that.
Right, excellent, Kory. Thank you very, very much. Right, we move on to the referral for testimonial round. We're not running late, but let's not dwell too much. Let's get around and make referrals. Start with Paul. Kory, for doing the running.
Yeah, it's Scott. Thank you, as always. Always good to remind us of the limits, etc. Very good attendance. Nice to see your background and your history. So thank you for that. Thank you, monies for Scott and Jones.
What am I supposed to thank you on?
Thanks, Scott, for your historic nice good brief from that. Kory, very good, mate. You're very confident, you're a very natural speaker, so it's really interesting to see you. Well, in full play. I've got a referral for Paul for some personal things. Working on the Okay.
Excellent. One on that 10 minutes, and yeah, it's interesting to hear more about your background. Yeah, sorry, while I continue to do this thing that I should have done earlier. Right, so I actually have, I've just written one out. I know Scott's might know me, but I will actually call him because he was tasked with me exactly for this. Essex Cricket, a chap called Theo. They've actually got a problem right now that could do with your services. And they were asking us about it yesterday, and I don't know why I didn't think about it. I thought about it. So, one time. Essex, so basically they've got a whole load of leaflets that need delivering somewhere else.
Okay.
They were delivered in the wrong place.
That sounds good.
But it'll be a good contact for you as well. I have a thank you to the money to Stuart. And a thank you to the money to Paul DeLu. I also have a referral to Catherine.
Thank you.
We've spoken about it before. Can you email Emily? She's got her English A-level course for you to look at.
Okay.
And I have a one-to-one with Paul DeLu, which I did a couple of weeks ago. But all right, thank you all. Have a lovely week.
Yeah, amazing. There's lots to remind us to go online a bit more often. Yeah, 10 minutes. Really interesting. But like I said before, it's good to hear background. One-to-one with Dave, John, and Mike this week, so I'll just do that. Referral for Blake, who has added some items to my attire for Friday night. Thank you very much. I'm not here next week because I'm in Cornwall. I'm having scones the right way round, Jan Thursday.
Thanks for it, Scott. It's always informative, and I love that 10 minutes, Kory. Honestly, I could have listened to you for 20 minutes quite easily.
Oh, thank you.
Was you born in late? Whipped Cross?
Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
I've got an interesting story about that as well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Same as David Beckham?
Worse.
Yeah. Oh, worse. I've also got a thank you to Melissa as well for your advice and opinion. Thank you very much. I've got a referral to James for deposit protection. You can do it. I've got another referral to Catherine from my daughter's home.
Lovely.
Thank
you very much.
And a referral to Matt. He wasn't here last week for order service loan. Thanks everyone.
It's a very interesting service what we do. It's got one from Ollie Jones. And thank you to Paul.
Oh, very good, man.
Right, that's it, thank you.
Thanks, I really enjoyed that. I came in this morning and I said to Kory, oh, you're still here. Because I was going to do a referral during the week. I'd asked my assistant to arrange a courier service for some books and records. And you're not on the website, you're not on the group chat.
I'm on the group chat.
You're on the group chat?
Yeah, get down in the last a business mobile, isn't it?
Yeah. Right, okay. Well, there's 3 jobs to be able to do. This is to Paul Booth, possible client that recently contacted. So Now, thank you very much for the Ed slot. I will redouble my efforts. I do things in the background. I'm not very good at making sure there's a recording.
Great, it's not stop. Slightly concerned about the arbitrariness of some of the points of view, but anybody loves sometimes. Keep on sorry. A great 10 minutes, really interesting. And, yeah, see you later. That's for the booth, year end, we spoke about earlier, personal tax stuff. That's the one-to-one with Matt Barry, you had during the week, forgot about. That's what referred to Scott, I did last night. Yeah, not seeing that at the moment. That's another referral to Scott. That's another slip for Scott. Stuff in there. That's a one-to-one with Toby. Yeah. 12 with Scott. And a referral to Scott. Thank you very much. That's it.
I am getting on.
Shut.
Average. It's great 10 minutes. I'm also a very avid PlayStation player. Hence a tattoo on my leg. And thank you for the money to Ben and James. Thank you.
Well done on the first 10 minutes. We've just started working together, just learning more about the businesses she's interested in. So thank you, that's really good. Thank you to the money to Paul, and to Howard. So thank you for knowing it's a business.
Good example of how you can start off with your first one. Tell us about yourself, which you did. We all know more about you now. We can move on to be more specific next time. So yeah, great 10 minutes. And this is a referral of Howard, who gets on. Let him know already.
Yeah, it should be a first one about so it used to be perm as well. So I'd love to get one-to-one with you actually, to hear a little bit more about what you're doing. And I was saying I've got friends who are moving soon, so on the moving side, I'd be recommending you as well. But no, brilliant, and love the Ed slot actually, because it's always good to know what you get through the sport and what you don't. So no, really good. Well, thank you very much. One-to-one yesterday with Mike. And I've got, it's only a small referral, but Mike as well, basically what you were talking about, your 6 seconds responsive bit, I'll tell you on the way about getting the videos as well. Joshua, we need to get a one-to-one in as well, because somebody was asking about architecture that I've recommended you, not referral yet, but hopefully next week I'll be able to be a proper referral there as well. And I'm saying about neighbours, I might have a dodgy neighbour now, that Mr. Mike Rogers. He's actually moving. Well, he says he's moving to Finton. He's not moving to Finton because he's outside the gates. So he's actually early crossed. So he's moving up there. So unfortunately, I'm going to have dodgy neighbours soon.
Bring him along to a
I might have to drag him along one day.
Oh, that's 10.
Yeah. We're great meetings.
Still happy as ever.
Yeah. Great meetings. See you next week.
Yeah, great tip. Some really they might use you the belly parts that are needed to originate across the region. Great tennis. Great, it's not. But can you put your hand out like that for us? Like, no, let the right hand. And then go like that. Tell him to put paper for the money.
Thanks for money, John.
I thought you could believe it. I've got a referral to Scott from Blake. I'll put it in. Best selling web page for the website.
What?
Best sellers on the website.
Okay.
What I'm doing, because you haven't put the bank for the money in, so.
You know, do it.
And I've got a lead with one of those referrals isn't referrals, a lead for 7. I'll send it when you get back, but then he's talking about back in just into
Great 10 minutes.
Kory. I've had the pleasure of meeting the power behind the throne, your co-director, stroke wife, and your little baby as well. Really great one-to-one with you all, and done some work recently, but yeah, really good to hear your background and that. Interesting slot, and I've just accidentally put through something twice. So maybe put it through for referral before put it through the one today. Got one-to-one with school. Twice. I've got another one for I don't know if you think about that, but I'm not bothered if you don't. And a referral for the club. Yeah, see you all next week.
Yeah, great slot. I've been here 5 years now, and I think that's the first time I've actually heard the points explained. So, I've got some idea of how it works now. Kory, that's brilliant. I really enjoyed that. And yeah, I'd love to have one time as well. Kickboxing and business as well. So, yeah, very interesting. Paul, also, can I have a chat to you about your friend in Malden who runs all those events? Because he's right up my street. And yeah, likewise to anyone that even knows events. And a thank you to Vincent, who's also just put me in touch with an events guy. Remember something came up. Thank you for the business to Howard, who's not here. One-to-one with Ben. One-to-one with John, who's not here, and one-to-one with James, who is here. So, thank you very much.
That was really interesting. I love hearing about people's lives and basically really nosy. Like one-to-one with Toby's clearly forgotten about it, and Leanne.
I did it early.
Was it just
Last week, yeah.
what, before we had it?
Yeah.
I might walk out.
Ah.
And thank you for money for Paul for last bit of coursework and referral to Paul for food that we just spoke about. Thank you.
Thanks for the Ed Slot stop. That was a mouthful. And great 10 minutes. Really good, really interesting. I'd definitely like to have a one-to-one with you, please. I had a one-to-one with John Foster yesterday and one-to-one with Toby and Catherine last week. So, and don't forget the synergy meeting next week. Thank you. See you.
Thanks for the slot, Scott. Very helpful. And I will try and be more consistent. I missed a few big things. Thanks for the 10 minutes. That was really interesting. To give everybody been able to do a bit of business. We look forward to more of that. We've got a referral from Nick, but he's not here, so we'll do that next week. And see you all next week.
Referrals to Leanne, and come and hopefully help me work out today out of my office. Yeah, great meeting, great to hear more about you and your business. Thank you for the Ed Slot, always good to remind how we should and shouldn't behave when we come along. And yeah, see everyone next week.
Lovely. Well done, Kory. Excellent. Didn't have a possible first testimonial presentation at all. Well done. This is for Aidan. Thank you very much, Aidan. It's going to sort out our wills. Turns out your wills can get out of date. I now have got children that don't even feature on there. So with things you on, keep up with them. Thank you, Scott, for starting us off with lots of food for thought. Always good to hear. James, my accountant's father was called Stuart Stewart. You couldn't have made a mistake. Isn't that? Yes. And then finally, elbows up. Many of you know I am a Canadian, and that's our way of saying to Trump. It's a nice hockey reference, and you're meaning business when your elbows are out. So elbows up, everybody, from the book here. Thank you.
James, how did they spell Stuart? The same way both times?
Yes, same way. Both of you. Yes.
So you'll go, Kory, and then we'll get you some more.
Oh my God. Thank you for the referral from David. Yeah. And I think that we'll play next week as well.
I did it last week. Yeah, no. I think it's a winner for tonight's batch referrals.
Price is
Who is its throne?
Just so that. Aidan.
Oh, so Aidan's your winner.
Yes, I will bring you your prize.
I look forward to it.
Yeah. Curious.
Right, that's the end of the referrals round. Thanks, Kory, for doing the running for 10 minutes and just generally being around. Right, I'm opening as always the floor to any inquiries and comments. Blake?
I have 2 free posters left. If anyone wants them.
Oh, we missed it.
One else. I'll have one. I have one for you. There you go.
Sorry,
One left. One left on the upper band.
Yeah.
Full one, two. Go on then.
I'm lost.
There's a poem that goes in British coastal with salt cake smooths chugging up the channel in the March days. Did you know that? No.
Right.
Good.
The latest episode of Referral Effect dropped this morning. It's the 10th of podcast. We dropped this morning, 5 AM. Please have a listen, like, subscribe, and share with people. Features totally active. It's interesting, and I'm that good.
It does actually make me sound quite good.
It's interesting, funny places. But yeah, please like and subscribe and share it because it does help with our visibility online with it. But each episode so far has had in excess of 50 odd downloads, which is brilliant for the podcast series. But let's see if we can make that grow, and it'd be great if people who aren't marketing yet start listening to it, or more people who aren't marketing start listening to it. It's a great way to market PDF and also our members' businesses. That's it.
I've got a student, he's 19, he's on a college thing about electricians. Oh my God, I've lost the ability to speak. And he's desperately looking for an apprenticeship next year, so any of you with any sort of electrical interest need an apprentice. And those are the details. Please let me know. He's a lovely boy.
Right. Anybody else? No. Right. I'm going to send you on your way out into the sunshine. Could I ask you all to be prompt when you get up? We're only 2 minutes away. Help. See you all next week.